Is your star on the rise? Maybe your child's star is on the rise. Georgia, considered the new destination for television and movies. It's been called by some the new Hollywood, and certainly folks are flocking here to be part of what's going on. As a matter of fact, we're going to check in with Lynn Stallings. She's the executive director of the Atlanta Workshop Players, and they do a camp every summer, a couple of camps actually, for young folks who are looking to get into acting and want to find out more about the acting part of it, and I guess, and to a certain degree, the business part of it as well. So, Lynn, welcome this morning. Hope you're doing well today.
Oh, I am ready for a creative day.
All right. Well, there you go. Let's talk. Before we talk about the camps, I just want to talk about this whole situation, the way Atlanta has just grown and exploded when it comes to, I mean, look at all the movies and TV shows that are being shot here. What are you seeing on your end of it with the Atlanta Workshop Players?
It's amazing. Georgia is like the mecca for television and film now. There are TV series and big budget movies and commercials, you name it. There's so much here. Nobody has to move to another market now to have a busy career. And we've got advanced students that are working quite consistently. In fact, a really cool thing happened this fall. We had 4 kids from the same class all booked on the same episode of Wonder Years. And
Oh,
they had so much fun working together because they knew each other so well. So that was really pretty cool. But students, teachers, everybody has opportunities to have really successful professional careers here.
folks are
It's
coming from all
awesome.
over, though. I mean, because like back in the day, Hollywood, if young folks wanted to be, in the movies or in showbiz, that's where you had to go.
Right, exactly. And you don't have to anymore. In fact, a lot of people from the West Coast and from New York are moving to Atlanta. And, the cost of living is lower here and the standard of living is higher here. And it's just a beautiful place to be. And the industry's here. So it's pretty cool.
Yeah, most definitely. Well, let's talk a little bit about, let's face it, there are a lot of folks, we all wake up and we all want to be a star. So we pursue that dream. Some people have what it takes, honestly, and some people honestly don't. So what should parents consider if their children are wanting to become professional actors?
Well, first, their desire. If this is something that they really, really love to do, if they're motivated and they talk about it all the time, you only get one childhood. And so you have to protect that at all costs. And if this is something that they love to do, it's like any other after school activity like soccer or dance or anything else that you want to do. So if they really want to do it, absolutely go for it. And they would need to get training, and parents need to find out the business side of it because that can make or break your career. And one of the things that we teach is how to launch a career without losing your mind.
Oh,
and, and it's
where
a
were you when I
very,
got into radio?
I know, it's a very different industry. It truly is. And so learning how to navigate that is pretty important.
What do you tell students? Because I know that you give them the straight skinny. You're realistic in your approach. What do you tell students as far as controlling expectations? Because I think sometimes, especially young people expect to be able to walk in the door and I'm wonderful. Everybody, I should be a star. How do you control expectations?
Well, we talk about reality, and one of the things we do is we bring in successful performers and things to tell their stories and to do Q&As and things like that. The reality is the average is 45 auditions before you book one. And of course, there's some people that book their first one. Some people it takes 100 auditions before they book one. So when you look at an audition, the goal is not to go in and book that particular role. The goal is to book the room, to go in and be prepared, do your best, get to know the casting directors, and then you will get remembered because they keep people in mind for other projects. So what you're really auditioning for is everything that casting director ever casts in the future. It's an investment in your career. So go in and have fun. Do what you love to do, and then forget about it. Then go hang out with your friends, play games, go to the movies, do something else, and forget about the audition. And when you get booked, it's like, wow, a nice surprise.
A little serendipity. So, how do you, it's tough for an adult to handle rejection. How do you help them handle that?
Well, when they understand the process and that it is an investment in their career and it's not about getting that particular job, then it puts it in perspective. They understand it better. They don't take it as a negative. It's really not a rejection. We may see when we're casting a role, we might see 100 people and we have one role. Well, the one person gets it, but 99 people don't get it. So most of the time you don't get cast. But then once you do get cast, the next one's a little easier, the next one's a little easier, the next one's a little easier because you're building a resume.
Yeah.
And building that resume gives the production companies and the directors confidence in you. They know that you know how to handle yourself on a set. They know you have experience, and so they're more likely to take a risk with you.
I've got to ask one that's a little off the wall, perhaps, but this is one that was asked to me by a listener some time back, and I didn't have a really good answer. And that is, this particular gentleman is retired, and he had an opportunity to be an extra in a movie, just whatever. And he just wanted to do more of that, and he didn't know how to pursue that end of it. What if you wanted to, as an adult, and you're just wanting to get into it, just to be an extra or to be able to do some bit parts?
That can be a really fun thing. There are several agencies in town that specialize in extra casting for background, and there are people that do that as their career. A lot of people want to do larger roles and things like that, but it's really fun to be in the midst of that big set and all of the excitement and all of that. I would not recommend being an extra when they need 100 extras or 1,000 extras, because you'll never get near the action. You won't get to see much. You'll be in a tent 2 miles away, and you'll sit there all day. But if they need 10 extras or 20 extras, then you'll be right there in the thick of things, and it's really quite fun.
I would imagine extras probably get more steady work sometimes than actors.
Oh, yes, they
Higher
would get
demand.
a lot more steady work. Of course, it doesn't pay as well,
No,
but it
yeah.
pays. Yeah, and it's super fun. If you are wanting to pursue this as a career, being an extra a couple of times on a big budget movie is a good idea, because it lets you see how the process works, and you hear the jargon and you see what everybody's jobs are like, and all of that is great. I wouldn't suggest, if you want to be a professional actor, I wouldn't suggest being an extra on a television series, because as soon as you're seen as an extra, then they can't cast you in a major role. But for a movie, you already don't have the part, so absolutely go for it.
Interesting.
You can't put those on your resume, but you can absolutely do it as a learning experience and for fun.
Yeah. Lynn Stallings is our guest this morning, Executive Director of the Atlanta Workshop Players, which they do a summer performing arts camp, and you've got a couple of those coming up, and they start in July. So for folks who might be interested, with their young folks that might want to be part of this, kind of tell us how we sign up and what we can expect from that.
Oh, yeah. Our performing arts camp is called the Summer of Wow, because it's a blow your mind, life-changing experience. And we do have students ages 7 to 18 that come from all over the country. We've even had kids from 5 continents.
Wow.
And they develop performing skills and work with master teachers, all of whom have very successful careers in TV and film and on Broadway. And they make movies. Every student gets screen time and production experience. They earn professional level IMDb credits for their resumes, and they walk the red carpet, and the movies go to film festivals all over the world. In fact, last summer, AWP was in France for the Cannes Film Festival, and it was with a movie that we produced at camp. It was written by Kennedy Knowles. She's a TV film commercial actor who's also an AWP alum, and she's teaching again this summer. And then we have a performing arts intensive where the kids sing and dance and act and perform, and they audition for agents. And we have a camp for newer actors, which is a performing arts adventure camp. And the students take classes and see shows and perform, and it's just creative fun. Every hour is something different. So we have something for everyone, the ones that want to pursue this professionally, and the ones that are doing this because it's fun and it builds confidence and communication skills, and it is just a blast. And the skills that they learn are things that can help in any career that they ever choose to do. The social skills and leadership and teamwork, and they get to exercise their amazing imaginations. There's some pretty cool kids out there.
There are, and you guys get to work with a lot of them. Atlanta Workshop Players, how do they find out more?
Our website is our name, AtlantaWorkshopPlayers.com.
Simple enough.
AtlantaWorkshopPlayers.com.
All right. Lynn Stallings, our guest this morning. Thanks for being with us. Appreciate it. You obviously have a real love for what you do, which is great. The enthusiasm shows, and I appreciate you energizing our morning this morning.
Well, thank you so much. You are awesome.
Appreciate
Take care
that.
and go have fun today.
We'll do that. You do the same.